Alrighty. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Can you hear me? Test 1, 2. Can you hear that? Test 1, 2. Can you hear this? No, you cannot. However, I know why you can't. And so that means that it is working. Sick. Never mind. Alright. I heard there was news around these parts. And I done fucked up my title. Should I fix it? Nah. I accidentally ended up in title case. But oh well, that's just how it's gonna have to be. Alright. I'm updating the title. That's just the way it's gonna have to be. I just fixed it and added Risk of Raid news at the end. In case I don't remember what I changed the title to later, in case it didn't save the title change. We'll never know! Who cares? Anyway, what was I talking about? There's patch notes! Multiple! And I can view it from here. Apparently they actually made, look! This is Mewtwo and Zacian and Eldegoss. They actually made good patches after they made a mistake. They actually did a corrective patch after the fact, which is insane. And not only that, they did it without a character dropping. Meowscarada is not out yet. That's insane. Okay, so apparently I missed this. Recovery, alright, and attack have been reduced in Mewtwo X. Reasonable. It's random, but reasonable. That the recovery was mostly recovery. The actual move recovery. I don't know if Mewtwo's healing was all that important, but we'll take what we can get. Right? Anything we can get. It's Moop. And apparently Psystrike got its damage reduced. Nice! I would have liked a cooldown increase, but sure. Whatever. Only on Mewtwo X, though. I guess Psystrike is fine on Mewtwo Y. Well, it's among the least of the problems right now, so I guess that's a pretty reasonable take to have, honestly. When you look at, like, Urshifu and Zacian and Inteleon, it's like, oh yeah, Mewtwo Y is really strong. Who cares? Who cares? You could probably kill it with an Umbreon at this point. Speaking of which, nerf that. What else did we have? And I do have the numbers pulled up here that I could show you, but I probably won't. Lifesteal at... it has been nuked to only 5%, all the way up until level 12, where it becomes... or level 13, where it becomes 10%. It used to be 10% at level 5. You know what? It would be easier to show you. It used to be 10% at level 5, and then 15% at level 10, and then 20% at level 13. So it has been dramatically reduced. I don't know if that was the real problem, but it certainly didn't need to be there. It was a cool mechanic, and I think, you know, like, if Recover was nuked, it would be fine. Nobody uses Teleport. Recover is broken. I'm sad that that didn't get nerfed instead, but, again, this nerfs both builds of Mewtwo, so this is fine. Also, it didn't... Look at this. It didn't need these stats. That's absurd. Pollen Puff, HP restoration decreased, if I can find that without spoiling anything else. Not really. Not really. Okay. Well, we'll just say until we get to the good stuff, we don't know. Zacian, Sacred Sword, damage decreased. Thank you. That needed to happen so long ago. Effect on the user weakened. I'm not sure what effect it had. Well, let's check the other patch notes and find out. Because that's the only change. Take what you can get, I guess. Damage is 10% less scaling, and its base damage is down about 12%, or 12 damage. It's something. You know, considering you can hit it twice, you know, like any nerf is a good nerf, because any nerf that you do on it is doubled. Oh, that's for the drawing of the circle. It also has 3 hits, and then there's a boosted, which has been nerfed even harder than the normal version, which I appreciate. Roughly the same, but still slightly more. Is nerfed slightly more. Oh, it had damage reduction. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, that's fine. It being squishier is fine. It already had a kind of an issue of dying. Zacian definitely has a weakness to just dying out of nowhere. It has like no healing. But that also means you put a support on it, what do you do, right? Hence Zacian Comfey. So I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it being nerfed again. What else we got? Sobro Amnesia. Thank God. This was unbelievably stupid. Effects on user weakened. Thank God. Defense has been weakened. Thank God. And plus special defense increase weakened. Thank goodness. How much? Like, is it just an obliteration? How do I find out where? This one I'm willing to like find. Here we go. Oblivious HP recovery reduced by 5% out of 22 and a half. I won't spoil it for you as well. But like, yeah. And so that's like almost a quarter reduction. Not quite, but almost a quarter of its like healing reduced. Thank goodness. Especially since it's not affected by the cursed items. That basically just brings it in line with the rest of the characters. And even then, probably could have used like another % off, but you know, it's still a defender. That is still kind of like its big draw to having amnesia. Is you have like no stun or any real utility whatsoever besides just not dying. And also, defense increase reduced by 50, very appreciated. Special defense increase reduced by 25, very appreciated. And since Slick Spoon is a thing, its reduction being slightly less makes sense. Thank goodness. Charizard, level at which Pokemon evolves changed to 7. Wait, what was it before? Hold on. Can I find one of them? Was Venusaur one of them? Yeah, Venusaur evolves at level 7. What did it used to be? What level did it evolve at before? Was it oh, wasn't it 9? It was 9, wasn't it? Oh lord, that's such a big buff to 3 characters who were really good. When will they stop buffing Charizard, dude? When does it end? Ah. Don't act like I'm dumb for not remembering. There's so many Pokemon that don't evolve at 9 anymore. So many Pokemon in this game now evolve anywhere from level 4 to level 10. And also there's 90 Pokemon in this fucking game. It's very stupid. I don't understand why they keep buffing the Gen 1s. Venusaur was already one of the best characters in the game that wasn't broken, and they still kind of were. Blastoise is the same thing. They were basically broken. Charizard was broken. Why? Stop doing this. You didn't nerf them at all to compensate for this. That was Blastoise's only weakness, is the fact that it evolved late and was a Wartortle forever. What the fuck? If I remember rightly, their first evolution is at 5 as well, so they only spend 2 levels at their final evolution now. They only spend 2 levels at their middle. Ugh. Why are you like this? Well, I know what Pokemon I'm gonna be seeing every day forever now. There's just gonna be Charizard everywhere. Because they just refuse to fucking nerf it. Mimikyu, Shadow Claw, effects on user strengthened. That's a choice. Well, I guess they still don't get their ult at level 7, so I guess that's something. Charizard also gets a range increase with that. So cooldown reduction for hitting something was gone from 0.5 to 1 second. So hitting a Shadow Claw just means you get it even more. So sure. Random cooldown CDR increase. Sure. Why? It was already... why? That was already the broken move, but whatever, I guess. Play rough, damage dealt increased. I don't know if that's what it needed, but okay. Move upgrade, what does that mean? It does more damage. It does more damage. Is now invulnerable when latching onto a target. Now that's a buff. That is a buff that is... I wouldn't say unreasonable. I wouldn't say that's unreasonable. Play rough, damage is also increased, and upgrade is the same thing, I assume. It doesn't say, but I would assume. DB does not have the answers. Yeah, sure, I guess. Just why the heck not, I guess. It doesn't seem like it would be busted. So I tentatively hope that this won't make it too much stronger. Trick Room, effects strengthened, cooldown reduced. You know... it means something. Damage reduction from sources outside the room is up to 50%. I guess that's fine. Cooldown reduced, that makes sense. That's the buff I would have expected. And the plus is reduced proportionally. No, it's reduced less. It's reduced less. Sure, I guess. I don't know if Trick Room would still be worth over the other, but that's nice. Alright. Talonflame buff. Attack increased. Sure. Is that just it? Or... Aerial Ace damage increased. Aerial Ace plus damage increased. You know, I would say that that's... You know, that was already a high damage move, but... You look at the rest of the speedsters and you tell me that this was too much. Like, you look at the rest of the speedsters, you tell me this is too much. Gengar does 3,000 damage per move. Absol does 3,000 damage per crit. Zera's still bad. Zoroark just cannot be stopped nor caught. Dodrio is even worse, but not as good, but is even worse at just doing stupid burst and not being punished for it. And Leafeon, do I even need to say anything about that one? Do I even need to say anything about that one? Like, even if this is a crazy idea, it still wouldn't even touch what the rest of the speedsters can do right now. So sure, why not, right? I'm not gonna look at the numbers because it's attack up. We know it's attack up. We know what they did. Clefable, Draining Kiss, HP Restoration increased. Draining Kiss plus HP Restoration increased. You couldn't have given it a rework? It not healing Clefable is stupid. That's not helpful. That doesn't make it any better. It needs to heal Clefable. It needs to heal Clefable or have absolutely insane range. One of the two. Like, why? Ugh. Chandelure Flamethrower damage increased. I hate that. Poltergeist cooldown reduced. I hate that more. Duration increased. I hate that too. I hate that. Well, at least by some miracle, they didn't completely lose their minds and buff something else on Chandelure. Like, if for some reason they buffed, what's the silence move? I forget, but you know what it is. So, you know, at least they didn't completely lose their minds. Ooh, Glaceon. I assume this is a nerf. Ice Shard. Attack speed increase has been strengthened. I'm fine with that. Ice Shard, after the last nerf, has been pretty rough. And Ice Shard increase has been further strengthened. By how much? From 50% to 75%, and then from 65% to 100%. So that's a 35% increase for the second one, and a 25% increase for the first. I'm fine with that. Ice Shard being like the DPS really makes Glaceon almost like more of an ADC. I very much like that because that's the build I like. So cool. Battle items gotta change. That never happens. Eject button cooldown lengthened. Let's go. I told people it needs to be nerfed. Why did they nerf full heal again? They nerfed full heal again. Really? Maybe I was wrong. Maybe eject button wasn't too good. Who am I kidding? Of course it was. It was on 90% of teams. Of course it was. But full heal got nerfed again! You're kidding me! No way! No way! No way! No way! It's been increased by 5 seconds on eject button. Full heal. Sorry, I was just reading this. Hold on, let me show you this too. Just reading this, yeah. It was just full heal was not a problem. Just beatsters just charging in and YOLOing, which was then countered by just a bunch of mages in the back that were too far away to catch and could just immediately stun you when it was over. It's like, how else do you hit a character like that? You don't. And, like, if you nerf it, well, what happens? You just end up with a bunch of mages poking from a million miles away. That's just what it's going to end up being. It's just like, oh, it'll end up with a front line that can actually frontline. What do you think Lapras, Umbreon, and Blastoise were? What exactly did you think they were before this? They were heavy frontline. They were just also the damage. That's the problem. They don't need a backline. The backline is just bonus. And it was also nerfed by a paltry 5 seconds. Yeah, if you were ever wondering whether or not the devs wanted stun meta, here's your answer. They want stun meta, and they want it bad. Excuse me. Did I lose? Well, not important right now. Okay, what else did they change? I kind of lost it after the full heal nerf. Again. Slow smoke, cooldown shortened, and effect strengthened. Not again! You've made this mistake already! 5-second cooldown reduction, 20% slow increase to 50%. Not again, dude! Not again! You've already made this mistake once! Why? One or the other, not both. Fuck. This is why they never try and balance battle items, cuz they always get it wrong no matter what. They always get it wrong. Goal Getter has been buffed again. It's been buffed again. 15 seconds! 15 seconds they reduced the cooldown by. 15 seconds. And it's still bad. Oh lord. 6 mode's been nerfed! Let's go! How much? No way! 1%. They changed it by 1% at level 1. They changed it by 3% at level 20. 3% change. I'll take what I can get, sure. I'll take what I can get. Whatever. Focus band nerfed. Yes, it's my dream. Percent of missing HP recovery amount has been nerfed by 2% at level 9. By 3% at 19. And at 20, it has been reduced by another 2%. So 2, 3, 2 nerfs. So basically 2% nerfs, because everybody has this at level 20, let's be real. 2% reduction. I mean, it's something. You know, that's like 200 health on a Blissey. That's something. It's not much, but it's something. I would have liked it to go down at least 1% more, but I mean, with the cursed items, it's been not so bad. With the cursed items, it hasn't been so bad. It hasn't been so bad. Leftovers and Drain Crown have been buffed. I highly doubt in any way that matters. Is that all there was? Let me just check and make sure. Yeah, that's all there was. Okay. Yeah. So 1.52 goes to 2.34, which is what it should have started at, and still is trash. Does nothing to address the problem of it not activating ever, which is also what this says apparently. And Drain Crown 6.8.10 to 7.10.13. It's something. It's something. Still won't matter because there's no Pokemon that can use it well. And not working on shields. Healing not working on shields is really a kind of a fundamental problem. It's supposed to be like a counter to healing characters, but those characters have internal healing, like Lapras or Snorlax or Slowbro. They don't have healing that you can stop by having a shield all the time. And also the number of characters that can have a shield all the time are actually fairly rare. Like, and even when they can have shield all the time, mages pop their head in or speedsters pop their head in and they go, "That's funny," and then they wipe you. Drain Crown's still bad. Leftovers still bad. Um, I really like the character changes. Just a couple of weird ones in there. Like, I mean, I guess that's not that weird. Chandelure's buffs really weren't that strange. They really do like to take a character that only uses one moveset and buff the other moveset a lot. They've been doing that since like the very first patches. Uh, Mimikyu is the one that's like I eh why why would you buff Shadowclaw? That's so weird. And why you keep nerfing the Gen 1s? Why? But, it's also like if they had to pick characters to buff, buffing Chandelure's off moves that still will never see use, and buffing the Gen 1s that at least weren't in the S tier right now, at least it's something. I would absolutely fiend for them to have, buffed something in like the bottom tiers right now. Like let's just like quickly looking at this. Like untouched, right? And this character's good, so that makes sense. But they buffed Clefable and not this one. Why? How are you down here? You got such a good buff. Whatever. But like, who's someone who's been down here for like ever? Like these characters have been down here for like ever. How the fuck are you down here? This tier list is wild. The meta changed a lot since I last played. How are you down here? This is crazy. 5x5 competitive, that explains it. Yeah, useless. Useless down there. Why has this been left alone? Why have the, well, I can understand why this one was left alone, but like, how are you down here? What? Whatever. Like there's characters who have been down here for a while, right? They've been buffing a lot of them, to be fair. A lot of them have been getting good love, but not all of them. Not all of them. It has been a long while. I think it has been a long while since we have gotten a change at all to Greninja that was not Double Team. Double Team is like the only move that has seen any change on Greninja in like a year. That's the only move they change. They keep going back and forth as to whether or not it should be a viable source of damage. For some reason. I don't understand why. But other than that, I like the changes. I can only imagine this would be a good thing to, like just make Mewtwo less of a problem. Somehow, once again, Umbreon still gets away. Umbreon still gets away without a nerf. And Inteleon gets away without a nerf. Like, sure, they're currently the Battle Pass Mon, but like, come on. Something? Anything? No? Umbreon still just gets away with it? Whatever, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what Pokemon I would realistically have them buff. Damn, Comfey is in B tier. Unequivocally the worst healer, apparently. Technically below Clefable. The worst healer in the game, somehow. Even lower than Umbreon, but let's be honest, even if they were considered a healer, they would still be higher. Insanity. I don't know if I can realistically trust Unite DB's tier list. I think it's based on the math cord. I think it's based on the math cord, but I'm not sure. Does the math cord have its own tier list? That's an excellent question. It has an entire tab dedicated to meta, so... Oh, here's a Meta Monday mega thread. That sounds about right. Hold on. What's this look like? These are based on the win rate. Do they have a tier list? Oh, this is very old. This is very, very old. Yeah, this is from like the beginning of this year. This is like from March. Do they have an update for this? Does not seem to be that way. Where did I see that meta section? Oh, I think it's on. Is it on their like YouTube or something? Well, whatever it is, I don't think I can find it just now. I'll have to look for it at some other point. If they have a tier list, I don't know where it is. Maybe I'll be able to find it somewhere else. Maybe not. But this one is insanely old, so that's definitely not it. That is from March. It still says that Zacian and Comfey is the top played, Sableye is broken, and Buzzwole is trash. And those are most certainly not true anymore. Those are statements that are most certainly not true anymore. Buzzwole, like even you can even just look on this one. I don't know how much we can trust this one. Maybe this is, maybe this is where the math chord puts their tier list at this point, but like Buzzwole is in like B, Sableye is in D, Zacian's obviously still in S, and Comfey, however, is uh, by their definition and mine, the unquestioned worst healer by far. By far. And as you heard in yesterday's stream, like I said, without any changes to Comfey at all, people are starting to believe me when I say that Comfey is not the best healer, and that it is in fact the worst. And people are starting to believe me now. And there's been no changes, no nerfs, no buffs, nothing. All they did was nerf the broken characters. I'll tell you again right now, if this S tier did not exist, Comfey would even be another tier down. If it wasn't for this S tier, they would be C tier. They would be. Because, look at the rest of the stuff that they can be on. They can be on a Zoroark, which already heals more than the Comfey does anyway with a heal build. And with a damage build, they kill everything too fast to take a hit. Right? Whatever Comfey heals wouldn't be enough to save a Zoroark from death. Right? An Urshifu. Don't make me laugh. That healing would do nothing on a bear. The bear here heals so much. That would be worthless. You'd be better off taking Sweet Kiss on both of these characters. Here's Venusaur. Same thing. You could go healing on Petal Dance, but the healing he gets is infinitely more than what you have. And again, you'd be better off taking Sweet Kiss. Trevenant, you'd be better off taking Sweet Kiss. Mimikyu. I don't know what you think you're going to heal. Kudos to you, but I don't know what you think you're going to heal. Leafeon doesn't even need the Sweet Kiss. There's no point in even putting this on the Leafeon to begin with. Solar Blade's range is absurd, and Aerial Ace's mobility is so absurd that even if they were about to die, they wouldn't die. Lapras, they go off of all shield. The only time you'd ever really be able to heal them is when they ulted. Hoopa? Why are you even Comfey if you have a Hoopa on your team? Why are you even playing Comfey? He can heal 10,000 in 2 seconds with a cooldown of 6 seconds. You can heal 1,000 with a cooldown of 8 seconds. And you have to risk your life to do it. It's not even comparable. Not even comparable. Why are you even playing Comfey? Why are you even playing Comfey? Unless you're playing Sweet Kiss, why are you even on this character? Maybe I could see Comfey being useful on Blaziken. Barely. I guess. But also, if you're a Comfey on a Blaziken, you might as well be any other Pokemon. You could just as easily be any other healer. Yeah, you could be an Umbreon and you would heal better. Now, Blastoise is a good one, because both Sweet Kiss and Floor Healing would be pretty helpful, but alright, cool. One out of all of the rest of these Mon that you would put a Comfey on, and it would be a mid-tier healer. Cool. In all of these scenarios, Sweet Kiss would be the better option, including what the Zera strat used to be when it was almost kind of good. Spragle says gaslit me into believing that the Zera buffs were enough to make it good. I'm starting to believe it, just because I really, really want it to be true. I really want Zera to have been outside of B tier for once. But I know it's not. I know it's not true. But like on all of these characters, they'd be better off taking Sweet Kiss, and unfortunately, Sweet Kiss is trash. If Sweet Kiss was like a balanced good move, like it would probably be. It would just exacerbate the meta as it is already. You would just attach a Comfey to something like a Lapras, and as soon as they ult, you just start charging an ult full charge Sweet Kiss, and they're stunned for a total of 8 seconds. Right? Like it's too much. It's like we don't need another character that's good at stunning. We just don't. Like this is like the king of stun. This has an absurd amount of stun with like Psy Strike. This has Blastoise Surf. Enough said. This has stun on 4 different moves. Like why? This has stun on 2 different moves. This is like the prince of stun. Like all of these characters have like at least one stunning move, with the exception of Venusaur, I think. But it also has like an 80%. What is it? Like an 80% slow on Sludge Bomb. It feels like an 80% slow. 45%. Okay, so that's a 45% slow. So the slowing on the patch. What was the patch? Who got a slow buff? Someone got a buff to their slowing. Was it Chandelure? 80% slow. Jesus Christ. That's where I saw that. Jesus Christ. I hate that. Ooh, I hate that. But what was the? Oh, it's the Slow Smoke. Slow Smoke is now a 50% slow. So Slow Smoke now slows more than Sludge Bomb on Venusaur, which was already such an incredible slow that you basically couldn't move. So Slow Smoke has been returned to its previous title of Oh God, why? So that's not fun. But take what you can get, I guess. We can talk about this now.
What's up, everybody? Jake, your resident content cowboy here. Yee to the haw, and there is an update for Pokemon Unite coming very, very soon. I think a lot of us did not expect this.
Wild.
There are some balance changes coming to the game, and I was scrolling through this a second ago, and some of them are friggin' wild. First of all, let's talk about this. This balance update is coming on November 13th, tomorrow at 1600. Level November 13th, tomorrow at 6.
All right.
We have adjusted downward the power of Sword of Power, I said Sacred Sword, so that other Pokemon can find an opportunity to retaliate against the king. 10% damage reduction, and a damage reduction amount while using a move from 50 to 30%. I have to assume that's what that is. That also could be its Unite move. That's what that ended up meaning. And then we have
this is just translated.
Charizard,
it looks
Venusaur,
like
Blastoise. That's like I don't even know. That's so huge. That's so huge. That's
level 9.
That's so like Charizard. That looks really nice for Charizard. I don't know what they're doing with their Unite moves, by the way. They can still acquire them at level 9.
If they would have changed that, it would have shown on the thing that the move learning requirements have changed. They always include the moves that change level separately. So they still get their ult at level 9. But now they evolve earlier, which means that they get ult quicker, because Blastoise tends to get stuck at level, they tend to get stuck at level 8. Just unable to evolve. So this has nerfed that significantly, and so now even idiots will be better with Blastoise, which is going to be painful. It's going to suck. It's going to suck, but that's just the way it has to be.
But these are huge changes. Mimikyu also getting some changes.
Outside of that, it looks like there's no changes that we missed. Gracia.
Going to be reduced an additional from 39. I believe this is Ice Shard is what we're talking. A little more, so I've adjusted the
Fire
Shard downward. I forgot amount to oh man, here we go. I forgot amount to recover, saved HP, 22% decrease, defense from 300 to 250, and then the plus version, the special defense from 150.
Okay, so this is Slowbro. This is Chandelure?
To 125. Wow, Slowbro nerfs. Jeez. Okay.
Finally.
Damage increased. Reduction on Pollen Puff. We have Pixie. Among the many HP recovery
and
moves,
then there's Poltergeist. Watashiraga? What? Eldegoss. Or, sure. Pixie. That's a Clefable.
Kiss has a particularly good reputation for its recovery value, actually going from 30 to 50, and a lower cooldown from 45 to 40, so we might be heading back.
Slick Spoon. Battle items, dash button, eject button. Fix anything is full heal. Smoked is slow smoke. Goal or so, goal getter. These are not translated super well, I don't think. Or maybe they are, who knows. Held items, slick spoon. Kia no Hatsumaki, I think, is focus band. Food strainer is leftovers, I believe. Healing Kanmuri is drain crown. Yep. So it doesn't look like there's anything new. Does not seem to be anything.
Firelaw did that. This time, we've made upward adjustments to the attack and swallow meal so that you can come back after defeating your opponent. Swallow meal. Are we talking about Talonflame right now? Did I figure it out?
Is it? Oh, that might be Talon.
Damage increase on aerial ace. Well, that took me a really long time. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This patch is sick. I hope you enjoyed this.
Okay. So yeah, it doesn't seem to have been anything new about that. That seems to be all of it. You can watch the video if you want. So that's it for those patch notes. I like it for the most part. I don't think there's anything here that will cause a real problem. Chandelier and Gen 1 buffs aside. Gen 1 starter, sorry. Gen 1 starter aside. But there is a couple of Risk of Rain videos that I wanted to watch here. Or at least one that I wanted to watch here. Because I haven't seen the update, and Thunder was quite excited to Thunder was quite excited for this, so it must be good. All I've heard up to this point is that Risk of Rain Returns is out. There was some kind of festival that, as far as I can tell, was just a community thing, and apparently there's new DLC. I don't know the name of it. I haven't seen anything about it, but apparently there's new DLC, which, let's be honest, we all knew was going to happen. Gearbox has bought Risk of Rain away from Hopu. Sorry, I was just thinking about Hoopa earlier. You know, because you saw me doing that. Hopu, they bought it away from Hopu Games. So obviously they were going to make their most successful game to date, Risk of Rain 2, more DLC. They even went so far as to help Hopu make the first DLC, so they knew what they were doing and what they were getting into. What contributions they had and what they didn't, we don't know. For all we know, they could be responsible for the pests, for the blind enemies that are just the worst things ever. Or they could be responsible for the void items, which are the best thing ever. So I think I said this last time, but we're just gonna have to assume it will be as good as the last DLC. We just have to assume that. And when it comes out, it comes out. So let's take a look. Let's jump right in. Also, the music! Yeah! Look at that. Well, don't look at that because you can't see it, but, you know. Whoops, that's the wrong thing. Hold on. I found it. We're good. We didn't miss anything. Alright. Stream good? Stream good. Okay, hold on. Okay. Safe to assume. Receiving transmission.
If you receive this message, know the following. I am no low-born vermin.
What now? Providence? Okay. This is a Stone Titan. We just saw Providence here. Oh, is this the Aurelianite? I think this is the Aurelianite. It seems to be the Aurelianite fighting with Providence, who still has his worms. These appear to be his pet celestial worms. Now with masks on, which is dope as heck. He appears to have some sort of flame that he's using to fight. And this appears to be the Aurelianite, because I can't imagine him fighting a random Stone Titan, unless he's giving soul to a normal Stone Titan and bringing it to life. That's also possible.
Born vermin. I am no low-born vermin. A profession is part of me. His passion is...
And obviously we have Mithrix and Providence having, you know, different ideals.
His hatred and loneliness is part of me.
There we go, I had it sped up, sorry.
Is long overdue.
Yeah, this is the Aurelianite, I'm pretty sure.
Pathetic creatures.
This is Huntress, and this is Commando. We can see Huntress arrow. Some glass, I guess. General debris. Bullets from Commando. Huntress bow.
Seek a new shackle.
Aurelianite again. Interesting. So this is the Aurelianite apparently influencing his gold to this Providence statue that has just been struck by a shooting star and powered on? What the heck? Is there anything in the background? Not really.
Save myself. Powered by the bulwark's end.
Interesting.
Driven by the feet.
Bulwark Ambry. Okay, powered by the Bulwark's End. Bulwark Ambry is the creation studio where you get the artifacts in Risk of Rain 2. And in the lore is where they created all of their life forms and all of the artifacts and all of their items and all of the abilities and everything, right? Everything that they created in Bulwark Ambry. So this is what now?
Powered by the bulwark's end.
The powered by the Bulwark's End? Or maybe it's a very stylized way of saying powered by the Bulwark's Ambry. And he's just like kind of falling off at the end. This is Providence being what looks to be betrayed by the vultures with the beads of fealty. The vultures, I forget what they're called. They're like super vultures. I forget what they're called, but the heretic was one of these super vulture things from Risk of Rain 2. I can't remember what they're called. But who cares? Anyway. Yeah. One of these vulture people, hyper intelligent, smart as humans, smarter, yada yada. Talons made of steel. Yeah, it looks like they have some weird spears which we've never seen before. That's new. And they have beads of fealty, which doesn't make sense because the beads of fealty were created. Oh no, it does make sense because the beads of fealty were created by Mithrix to sort of lure enemies onto Mithrix's side to fight against Providence. So this does make sense. Okay.
By their fear, their hatred, I was changed.
What now?
Now, a new salvation comes for them all.
Okay. That's metal as heck. Okay, so Providence, after we defeated him, was attacked and defeated by the vultures on not PNF 404. That's the Pikmin planet. On this planet, I forget the name. There's a lot of lores that just have mysterious, unidentified planets in sci-fi. But this is wild. So he got corrupted by Mithrix's influence, which would, in theory, be a combination of... Because Mithrix's 2 aligned abilities, out of, like, all of them, I believe, were Mass and Soul. No, not Soul. I guess Mass and Form. Mithrix was pretty much a being composed almost entirely of mass and form. Providence is his opposite, being comprised almost entirely of soul and blood. The 2 things that give things life and passion, as opposed to mass and form, which gives things structure and order. But they are both like celestial deities or whatever, so they're both incredibly strong either way. Providence seems to have been defeated by the vultures, corrupted by Mithrix's influence, and now he is a being of potentially all 4 elements? He is fighting off... he was protecting the Lemurians. He got killed by the vultures. Now the Lemurian is scared of him. So now he's like a full-blown monster. He somehow has thrown a spear through one of the vultures, even though both of his arms are on his blade, which is now looks more like a club and has some Mithrix crystal growing out of it that he's swinging, while also firing off what I can only describe as one of the stone titans lasers out of his face, out of his eye thing. So I guess the appropriate title for him right now would be Stone Colossus, is what I'm going with. Or maybe Gold Colossus. Let's go with Gold Colossus.
None shall bide me.
None shall bide me? What did he say?
All. None shall bide me.
Find?
None shall bide me.
Hide, bide, hide. What did he say? I can't understand it.
None shall bide me. Seekers of the storm.
What?
Seekers of the storm.
One more time.
None comes for them all. None shall bide me.
All right, I can't understand him. He's saying something about maybe none shall. I'm gonna go with none shall find him because he said seekers of the storm. So in theory, he is the storm, and we are seeking him out. One would assume. So seekers of the storm, seekers of him, none shall find him. Sure, we'll go with it. Also, this design is fucking epic. So there is the chunk missing out of his top right is Providence. He has a club, so it is a club now. He used to have a sword, now it's a club with Mithrix crystal poking out of it. He has shoulder blades now, some kind of wrap, which is awesome. His eye is now like a flame. He's lost his power gem. Now he's all cracked and glowing with mysterious power. And the thing I want to point attention to is not only his elbows, but also his core has some strange red gems in them. Along with this strange icon, vaguely reminiscent of a skull, but with a very strange top that I don't fully understand. It's not a symbol even really similar to anything else I've ever seen from this franchise. So that's interesting.
Seekers of the storm. Face my divine rule and crumble.
Risk of rain started.
That's okay. That's wild. If anyone else knows what the heck he's saying there, that'd be cool. Hold on, I am exploding. I have to go to the bathroom.
Comes for them all. None shall bind me. None shall bind me. Seekers of the storm, face my divine rule and crumble.
Risk of Rain started pretty organically.
There wasn't quite enough kind of games we could play together, both me and Duncan.
I've always tinkered with making games, and so it was just a natural extension of like, what if we just made a game?
Yeah, I was... Okay, so I was muted. Yeah. I still can't understand what he's saying. I would assume that it's find, but it sounds like bide. Bide, as in to stall. Biding time. Stalling. B-I-D-E. B as in boy, I as in insect, D as in dog, E as in eclectic. Yes, that's the best I could think of. I couldn't think of egg, no. Bide, B-I-D-E, biding. None shall bide me, as in stalling. Biding time, stalling. That's the best I got. You know. And like I said, his divine rule, he's a god. At least they say they're gods. Love it. Oh yeah!
The original Risk of Rain
God, I missed the first
resonated
one.
so well with people was that it had familiar game design to other games that were popular at the time.
And it was a roguelike, which was rare.
I played that day one on Steam release. And
Heck yeah, dude.
since then, I haven't really turned back.
The devs
Yeah,
just had this innate feeling for the satisfaction of piling on tons and tons of items, practically no limit, and just feeling really powerful.
The community has been amazing. I'm blown away constantly by their reactions. I get comments for tracks that are now literally 10 years old.
I like that you have to survive. You don't get a lot
Objective,
of those
survive.
games that make you feel like you're constantly about to die. You are
Oh yeah, you're
at
always
risk
about to die.
of rain and death.
Oh yeah,
as you play
you are
this
always
game.
about to die in these games.
I think my favorite memory is probably the
Wooly! Let's go! They interviewed Wooly! Yeah, dude! Let's look, and I'm not wrong this time. I'm not wrong this time. Let's go.
release date of the Void DLC. I could not kill the Voidling. I don't know why. It took 21 hours.
Nice.
Kill 'em. So that was definitely a journey for me.
Ah.
A very fun and memorable experience for sure.
Risk Brain was a great hangout game.
He must have been talking for a while. There's no way that's the
nice
first thing he
moments of
talked
quiet,
about.
And then it would have those big, intense moments of action. Tons of enemies would come flying in at you.
This could go on for a long time. It's a very rich world that still has a lot of room, even just on this one planet, to do stuff.
I think there's a lot of potential. There's so many things that we haven't explored with the franchise. There's so many different environments that we wanted to do.
If someone is really having a lot of fun making a game, I think it does show in the final quality. You can just tell they had fun making.
Wait, whoa. I zoned out. I zoned the heck out. Hold on.
So well.
What? One more time? Do my eyes deceive me? What was?
By their reactions, I get comments for tracks that are now literally 10 years old.
I like that you have to survive.
Of the voice kill. So that's true.
Risk Brain was a great, big, intense
world that still has a lot of room, even just on this one planet, to do stuff.
I think there's a lot of potential. There's so many things that we haven't explored.
Whoa! Look at this! Look at this! It's like an altar. And it's beautiful, dude. This is so pretty. This is so much prettier than the other stages we got. Like the purification sanctuary or whatever, cleansing center or whatever. That place was like cool, but it ended up being very samey with just like all the square pathways and square platforms and square like ceiling pillars. It ended up looking very samey. It was pretty, but it didn't have a lot to it. This is gorgeous. It's got like just random crystals. There's plants growing down everywhere. There's beautiful streaks of light. A huge temple. There's some cracks in the caves to the left and a cave to the back. And there's more. Everything's covered in sand and dust and just a little bit of greenery, like it's been here for a long time. And there's scrappers. I already like it more than cleansing Aphelion Sanctuary or whatever it's called. I already like it better. There's scrappers here.
There's so many different environments that
Oh, lava lizard. It still has a glowing eye. That's crazy. I think that's supposed to be a magma worm, maybe? Which would make sense with the whole Providence thing. They turned into stairs, which is awesome. And so this is some kind of like volcano temple, a volcanic temple. There's candles. That's such a cool idea. Floating platforms. That's fun. Looks like that might be some kind of shrine or maybe just a bunch of shrooms or something. I don't know. This might be a well. These are like there's like wells of stars and darkness. This is wild over here. So it's like just some like natural mushroom lights or something. A very interesting it seems to be like a temple. It's almost like semi-ruined. It's such an interesting design though. Like I have to give them credit. Like I'll be honest, the stages they really kind of sucked in the last DLC. These are gorgeous. These are beautiful and really interesting places to be as well, as opposed to oh look, gunk everywhere. You know, just oh wow, squares. And like to be fair, this one also kind of suffers from the square things, but there's other shapes. And you know, the giant worm, which is pretty freaking cool. That's pretty cool, dude. That alone is like, yeah, I love this more than all three of the other new stages that I remember being added. Right, like that ice biome. It just, everything looks like fucking snow. I keep getting lost because everything just looks like snow.
we wanted to do.
If someone is really having a lot of fun making a game,
Oh, Risk of Returns. What the heck is this? It's another jungle. Hopefully it's not as bad as the last one. But it looks like there's a temple in this one, which is pretty interesting. That's true. That was a new stage, wasn't it? That was a new stage. I like that stage. That stage looks really nice, and it's actually fun to traverse it. Except for the fact that the golden chest never seems to be somewhere I can find. I can check all of its spawn points and still not find it. It's insane. Multi appears to have as a helmet of some kind. I'm not sure what item that is off the top of my head. Oh, good. These are back. I don't know why I thought they would be deleted, but one can hope, I suppose.
If someone is really having a lot of fun making a game, I think it does show.
Here we go. Okay, so we didn't miss anything. It's just some Elder Lemurians. Stone Golems, Elder Lemurians. Is that an imp? Or is that a voidling? Not a voidling. What is it called? Void Fiend? A Void Fiend? Is that a Void Fiend? Maybe. These are weird. Is this the same temple as before, or is this a different one? It looks like this is the same stage we just saw. It looks like the jungle, but there's just stuff around. I like these plants. There's plants growing around everywhere. It's interesting.
The final quality, you can just tell they had fun making it.
Festival of Goop.
Risk of Rain 1 was made 10 years ago now, and I think that we loved the design of that game, we loved a lot of aspects of that game, but we felt like it was kind of showing its age, and we wanted to kind of take that same game and kind of bring it into like 2023.
Risk of Rain Returns is a game for the fans, and so it only makes sense to have them spearheading the project.
Once we kind of got into that community, there was like so many people who were interested in like supporting.
I bet.
And I think it made natural sense because they just had a much better understanding of the game at this point. There's a lot of people out in the world that have just so much creative energy for Risk of Rain stuff that it doesn't make sense for us to be in the
Oh yeah, the modding community is insane.
The universe, they understand what makes it so great. You could have played 100 hours in Risk of Rain 1 and like 100 hours in 2, and you'll find stuff in Returns that you've never seen before.
I just think it looks really cool.
Well, yeah, you added new items. That alone would be enough for that. Oh, the Elder Lemurian statue is awesome. There's his two worms. They look different in this game, though. I guess they don't look that different. I'm just used to seeing one of them is almost all red and one of them is almost all blue. Now it's just like there's a lot of shadow and a lot of shadow, but they are still mostly blue and red. But the horns are... Well, I guess they were there in the last one. It's just that they were almost impossible to discern. It basically was a recolored magma worm. And Providence has this like full intact headpiece thing. Petrichor 5, that's it. Oh, the Ancient Wisp is back. Yay. In Risk of Rain Returns. Cremator. I hate the Cremator. And there's, Cremator, Scavenger, Toxic Beast. This is what the Beetle Queen, basically is in, Risk of Rain 1. This is basically the Beetle Queen for Risk of Rain 2, but in Risk of Rain 1. It was in the first game, obviously. You know, like, it was in the first game. This is what the Beetle Queen is modeled after, in theory. But, you know, like, that is what it does. It spawns 4 of these little hoggling things every couple of seconds, and it just kind of walks around. It doesn't really attack you. It does, but barely. It's like the easiest boss in the game by far. If you die to this, it's because you were getting killed by something else. Oh, that was sick. Sniper is my main. Oh! Version 0.2 prototype laser turret? Is this for NG? This is for NG. Providence Trials. No success. What? What? Oh, it's event mode from Smash. It's melee and brawl event mode. Any new? Is there new artifacts at all? Oh, this one's new. This one's new. Oh, they added Continuum. I think this is from Risk of Rain 2. This is new. This is a symbol I don't recognize. This is Dissonance. This is Spite. This is Honor, Command. Oh, they brought back Spirit. They brought back Artifact of Spirit. I love this one. It's so much fun. The lower your health is, the faster you move. It's hilarious. It's insane. Is this I think this is one from Risk of Rain 2, but rendered in 2D. This I don't recognize. This is Dissonance. This is Dissonance? This is Dissonance from Risk of Rain 2. This is... It's from Risk of Rain 1, but I don't remember what it is. It's been a while. This looks like Continuum in some way. Continuum is from Binding of Isaac. I don't know, but it looks like something familiar. It's something like that. It's not an artifact in either game, I don't think. But I think it has a mechanic that will probably be similar to something. This, I assume, is supposed to be Origin? Is this Vengeance? This might be Vengeance. This is Origin. Spawns a copy of you every, like, few minutes. I think this is Origin. Spawns a bunch of imps every few minutes. Which I honestly think was more fun. I think Origin was better than Vengeance. Vengeance is lame. Especially considering it gets, like, your BS items. So it's, like, way harder to kill. And it has, like, your moves, which are also way harder to kill. As opposed to just getting a bunch of imps, which are super easy to kill. Oh, that's right! Imp shrines from the first game aren't in this game. I really miss them. I wish they were back in the game. What the heck? Why was there... Look at this over here. What is... Oh, I guess it was like it was just a missile. Cognition? That's not Spite. What the heck? Cognation. Enemies create a temporary clone on death. Oh, this is the bottom one. Cognation. Enemies spawn a temporary clone on death. And the top one is Spite. Enemies explode on death. Okay. Enemies create a temporary clone on death. That's cool. That's better than freaking whatever it was, like Soul, Artifact of Soul, where it just spawns a wisp on death. That was the worst in Risk of Rain 2. That was the worst. It didn't even count for like item spawns or anything. It just sucked in every way. Ugh. Oh my gosh! Ah! This is about what it turned into. Avengers, assemble! Acrid! Huntress! Her bow is so much cooler now! Yo, Loader's awesome! And that's pretty. Zam.
One of the things that we are doing with the console release for the Survivors of the Void is redoing the entire code base from the ground up.
The thing that I'm most proud of, I think, is that we were able to unify those code bases and be able to deliver future content to players across all the platforms as soon as we can, with an experience that matches the vision that Hopu had for the game. It makes me proud to be able to serve the fans and the players in a way that
I like that the crosshair's gone. I appreciate that.
Huge fan base, and we need to do right by them by supporting this content on all those platforms.
There is an element of...
Is there anything sneaky in there?
Supporting this content on all those platforms.
There is an element of...
by them by supporting this content on all those platforms.
There
Anything spicy?
is an element of familiarity, but there's also a lot of wonder. There's an element of familiarity, but there's also a lot of wonder. There's a lot to discover, so I can't wait for players to get their hands on Survivors of the Void on consoles.
Oh, the Beatles fight each other now. I assume this is the console. God is a good. What? I think that was Void Fiend in the scene before. A while ago. Alloy Vulture, that's what they're called. They really like the Void Fiend transforming, huh? Damn, they really just left the simulacrum out completely. They were just like, nah, nobody cares about that, and they're right, but dang. I thought it was fun. I would have liked more game modes like that. They really just left simulacrum in the dust, huh? There's 10 more minutes to this? Jeez. That's so cute. Rip. I win! Ah! Oh, it's the mobile game that is gonna be boring and within like an hour. Yeah, they made like Vampire Hunters, but, you know. This. I mean, it certainly looks fun enough. I feel like, Deep Rock Galactic Survivor is better, but we'll see. L4! Teddy, no! My boy! What have you done to my boy? Rip. Neat. He's got a shield. Oh, that's a cool attack pattern. The heck is that? Hostile Worlds. Alright. We'll see if it's good. It's a gotcha money grubbing mobile game, so we'll see. Yeah, it's a gotcha. See?
Risk of Rain Hostile World is a isometric take on the Risk of Rain franchise. Anybody that's a fan
That's
of
the gotcha mechanic.
will find pieces of what they like from Risk of Rain in our mobile game. So Risk of Rain Hostile World is a game that is within the Risk of Rain universe, and it's a product made for mobile. We're expanding this universe with Risk of Rain Hostile World, and it's a game that is frantic, full of action. Anybody that's a fan of the franchise will find pieces of what they like. It's a game made for mobile, but still we really want to make a game that is skill-based, that is satisfying, just like the previous titles.
Every developer says that.
Action is intense without overwhelming the player. Risk of Rain Hostile Worlds is the best of Risk of Rain, with hunter swapping, fast-paced action, hero collecting, and everything that needs to be there to make a great game.
To make money. We'll see. We'll see. It could very easily be fun.
Focusing on the
it wouldn't be hard.
For survivors on consoles, the development team has been working on DLC 2, or Seekers of the Storm.
But it being fun and it being profitable are two different things.
Was to give
not necessarily separate, but gosh, that's so pretty.
Guardian was gone.
Seekers of the Storm.
I like the concept art.
Expansion pack that'll be similar in size to Survivors of the Void, which is to say, there's going to be a lot of content.
Love the music. A lot of content. I'm okay with that. Like, good or bad, Survivors of the Void had a lot in it. And you take the good with the bad, and it ended up pretty good. Well, mostly.
So in Seekers of the Storm, our antagonist is the False Sun. And the False Sun is a construct of 3 parts. The first is Providence. False Sun is made in his image by Lemurians that are very scared to be without Providence. Aurelianite, with her captors gone, is now reaching beyond her cage.
Confirmed, Aurelianite is female. I immediately like the character more. No, I'm not sorry.
She's trying to get out, and she has no jailers anymore to keep her inside. So we're seeing her exploring new abilities in this DLC. And then right before False Sun is truly born, Mithrix comes in with his Beads of Fealty holders, and they corrupt him.
To me, he's a very sad boy. He got betrayed. We had a lot of fun making him, and...
So one more time.
To be without Providence. Aurelianite, with her captors gone, is now reaching beyond her cage. She's trying to get out, and she has no jailers anymore to keep her inside. So we're seeing her exploring new abilities in this DLC. And then right before False Sun is truly born, Mithrix comes in with his Beads of Fealty holders, and they corrupt him.
To me, he's a very sad boy. He got betrayed. We had a lot of fun making.
So it's made out of gold, made by Aurelianite. So Aurelianite has reached out of the cage and formed some soul gold, and the Lemurian shaped that into Providence, and then it was its life was corrupted by Mithrix. Have I got that right? Because I'm not sure how else Aurelianite is really involved in this.
Making him, and he's very crucial to the lore. I'm really excited about when players find out who he is actually in the game.
We come in as fans of the franchise that are trying to make good on a thing. We always fall back on the idea of like, is this interesting and is this fun?
I'm gonna go with interesting.
Feel like everything
you cannot look me in the fucking eyes and tell me that you thought the blind enemies were fun. You look me in the eyes and you tell me that the void bugs are fun. You're a liar! You are a liar!
Supporting the storytelling. I want them to stop and look at the environment like, wow, this is pretty. I know the combat is always intense.
That is pretty. You have got me there. That is gorgeous. You got me there.
The very settings and location that we chose for this DLC is actually very heavily based on lore. Sometimes we would like to pick a enemy and we want to build a environment around it. And that's a thing where Risk of Rain do a lot, where, for example, in Abyssal Depths, the special enemy there is Imp, and there's actually a lot of lore attached to it. So we kind of want to keep that consistent for our new DLC stages as well.
As I was writing for Seekers of the Storm, for every log that came out, there were 10 dead logs that never will see the light of day. But out of those 10, 3 of them, they just weren't in the right place at the right time.
If someone is out there who just wants a bunch of content, cool, we got you covered. So a person who wants more maps, cool, we got you covered. For a person who wants more survivors, cool, we got you covered. Items too, you name it.
Yeah. But more lore though, right? The
design intent for day and night version for Verdant Fall is that we want the player to be able to experience the different take on a familiar stage that they're already been through. So the day-night version of Verdant Fall actually started as a personal project of one of our team members, and she had this brilliant idea of, you know, what if we make a stage different and we make a variant of it and then we add some more flavor as well. And that's why she came to me with the night version of Verdant Falls, and after we look at it, I was like, yeah, this is really cool.
Boy, I hope that it's a good stage if there's 2 of them.
Specific to the night version and makes more sense. And the skybox is totally different. And we added new areas for the night version that player are not always get to access to.
I've been really excited to work with the team and help plan the next 5 or 10 years for this franchise. There's a lot of directions that we could go in it. Pretty much every direction is interesting. There's High Court, there's Heretics, there's the 2 brothers. Where do they come from? Are there more of them? What is the space sickness that keeps them locked and isolated on this planet? Does that apply to all Cyclopses? There's a ton of mysteries to be dug out in this world, and I look forward to pulling every thread.
Why you bonk?
The future is very bright for Risk of Rain.
Future.
There's definitely a want from the community. We want the game to be fun for many, many, many years to come.
We're lucky enough to have so many engineers that are also power players of this game. So they give really good feedback on what the community is really looking for.
Was that supposed to
for
be
this
accurate?
game.
What was
So
that?
they give really good feedback on what the community is really looking for in their experience and how to move forward while keeping the core of the franchise intact.
We worked on.
What the heck is that? It's not accurate.
10 years now almost. So I feel like there is kind of like this feeling of like, oh, like other people they understand the universe, they understand the stuff, they understand what makes it so great, and they can continue carrying that forward. You know, it's cool to see other people who are passionate about it create stuff and like, hey, I made this thing, and it's awesome.
I think there's a lot of potential. There's so many things that we haven't explored with the franchise. There's so many different environments that we wanted to do.
When I think about the future of Risk of Rain, one of the things that makes me the most excited is really just like getting the stuff out there. We have a very loyal and very active fan base, and I want to make sure that we're doing right by them. And I'm pretty excited because I think that we're going to.
No dates on anything. No dates. Interesting. When did this? 5 days ago? Interesante. Interesante. So I assume that's it. For like another 2 minutes? Jeez. Apparently. That is it. What are you talking about? You're mean. You're always mean to me. Alright. So I think, as far as I can tell, let me check real quick. What the heck is this? What the? Oh yeah, grounded is a thing. I didn't realize it was opposite day. Is that... Oh, it died. It died. Okay. Is this just the same thing then? It looks like it, yeah. I don't remember that part.
In a lot of ways from when you started in 2D, it still manages to preserve that essence and give you the same feeling while you're playing it. That's most important.
I think the most important considerations with Risk of Rain 2 was making sure that we're still pushing boundaries.
I think this is new. I'm not sure. Let me check. There is a dev diary here.
Risk of Rain started pretty organically.
We're at college at UW and playing a lot of games at the time, and we felt like there wasn't quite enough kind of games we could play together, both me and Duncan.
See, now that's something he's already said.
We decided to write down our own game and how would we do it.
This is the holy grail, I guess.
Oh, I see. So this is like the full documentary, and I think the last video only had some of it.
Like 1 night or 2 nights of hanging out and essentially designing the game that we would play if we could make the game, and this turned into
Risk of Rain.
Yeah. There's like the director, there's ideas for like the captain and the engineer, the gunner, the navigator.
I've always tinkered with making games, and so it was just a natural extension of like, what if we just made a game?
Risk of Rain as a franchise is really interesting because it started off as a sort of like 2D sort of side-scrolling game, which is like very old school. When it came out, it was very refreshing.
We knew that we wanted it to be simple. We also really like platformers. And so I think we've always had a soft spot for side-scrolling games.
The thing that really captured my attention was the color palette, which had these soft pale colors, these purples and magentas. It wasn't this extremely bright and poppy and colorful things that you usually get when you see pixel art. This showed to me that there's a very particular aesthetic choice being
Especially
made
back
here,
in those days.
and it really had a strong impact on the music that I decided to write.
We found an amazing composer, just kind of by luck. We went to YouTube and we typed in like best music, top 10 video games or something.
I think there was a lot of games that have like good background music or music that doesn't like compete with the gameplay, and I think we wanted something that was more forward in the game, and I think Chris does like a really great job of that.
I'm writing music that is very close to the music that I would write on my own if I was writing an album.
I think the original Risk of Rain resonated so well with people was that it had familiar game design to other games that were popular at the time.
I like that.
Yeah, they definitely cut some of this into the last video, but not all of it.
Make you feel like you're constantly about to as you play this game.
This game just goes, hey, figure it out. Good luck.
I think players love pure chaos. They want to get as many items as possible, go
True.
as far as they can.
Yep.
It just needs to be as frantic as possible.
That was like the best thing in the first game, is just building up like 100 of the same item and watching it go stupid.
I know it's my goal. I don't want to die.
Dopamine go
Hit all
burr.
the bosses that I want
It was one of the very first like burr games. It was back when roguelites were really new.
It's the build-up, right? It's going from nothing to something crazy, and this feeling of power is unmatched.
And that unpredictability, but being able to do it the way that you want, I think is the key to the game's success.
I think that Risk of Rain resonated a lot with people because it's simultaneously very approachable and familiar, but also unique.
The devs just had this innate feeling for the satisfaction of piling on tons and tons of items, practically no limit, and just feeling really powerful. And also the games give you a bunch of characters with their own unlocks, their own secrets to find, and crucially, it doesn't overcomplicate or over-monetize that stuff.
Easy to pick up, but very hard to master was something that we wanted, and it worked out pretty well.
Multiplayer has always been really our ace in the hole for the genre. There isn't very many multiplayer roguelikes.
And Risk of Rain was a great
Is there any?
because it had those
Binding of Isaac took
kinda
like
nice
10 years to add
moments of quiet
multiplayer.
where you could just be going around exploring, looking for items, and just chit-chat about our lives. And then it would have those big, intense moments of action when you would activate the teleporter and tons of enemies would come flying in at you.
We knew we were going to make a sequel to Risk of Rain eventually.
We took enough time from Risk of Rain 1 that we kind
Get
of
fresh
felt
ideas.
energized about the game.
It was like 4 years between Risk 1 and Risk 2 before we started to like really work on it.
We just didn't want to do a super safe sequel. We wanted it to be exciting. We wanted it to be kind of risky. Haha.
And that's kind of when like the perspective changed, and we jokingly suggested doing it in 3D.
I was following Duncan and Paul's Tumblr dev blog. They're describing how to turn this 2D game into a 3D one. I thought it was really fascinating. I was so eager to get my hands on it.
I'd say I was pretty skeptical. In the end, Risk of Rain 2 I would compare it to Super Mario 64 in that, yeah, it's different in a lot of ways from when the game started in 2D, but it still manages to preserve that essence and give you the same feeling while you're playing it. That's most important.
I think the most important considerations with Risk of Rain 2 was making sure that we're still pushing boundaries and we're doing something that's interesting to us as well.
With Risk of Rain 2, we knew we needed some extra people. We wanted to focus on making the game.
What really impressed us with Gearbox was that they gave us the freedom to do exactly the game we were making.
They were looking for a partner to help them bring it out to the market, not only just on PC, but also Steam, Epic, and then the consoles eventually.
Gearbox has brought some of the AAA game development firepower that you might expect from a big company like this, while also trying really hard to respect the origins of the franchise of Risk of Rain.
Working with Gearbox was the right move for sure, just because they could get so many eyes on it all at once.
The co-development process is always a really tricky one because you're trying to understand what is yours to work on and what is theirs. How do you build trust with the franchise owners, in this case Hopu, to make sure that you are making things that not only make them excited, but that you believe will make the user excited.
They wanted to make a really great game and they succeeded at that, and I think one of the things we can do is sort of continue that development in their spirit while at the same time just being able to show the game and bring it to a lot more people.
When we were kind of doing the whole passing of the torch with the franchise, one of the many conversations we had was about lore.
I was asked to make a glyph language for Lemurians. Lemurians get their name from the lost continent Lemuria. It was a combination of Indian, Madagascar, and Australian references. As lore master, what I'm doing is I'm making sure that new content can be seamlessly blended with content that exists already in the franchise. So what people are looking for going forward out of their gameplay, it still feels like Risk of Rain.
The core for the style is that we have to keep it simple, but also interesting, because it's art and we need to make it pretty.
I love seeing what our devs do. They are extremely talented. I love it. It sounds ridiculous, but I get excited, I get giddy whenever I see something that Claire, who works in art, what she's making up.
When the player experienced the game, I wanted them to feel like everything around them is supporting the storytelling. I want them to stop and look at the environment and be like, wow, this is pretty. I know
so this is the same thing that we heard again.
That you pass on to us. If the attack is that he will be able to track the player.
Like, what the heck is this?
Then he needs to be
It's some kind of like weird chameleon. It's wild.
like a neutral pose maybe, so it doesn't look weird.
If someone is really having a lot of fun making a game, I think it does show in the final quality. You can just tell they had fun making it.
I think a lot of people associate Risk of Rain directly with its power fantasy, which is totally fair. But when I think about Risk of Rain, I associate it better with its challenge system and how you overcome them.
This game challenges you to mix up your style. As you're completing challenges, you get new survivors, and that challenges the way you play all over again. And then you stack that with unpredictable map rotation, different items that you get from the chest. It seems to be something that really just resonates with our users.
Risk of Rain 2 honestly kind of feels like a game from a simpler time. It really does preserve the essence of the original, which came out in 2013. And I think that balance of simplicity and excess is why it resonates.
It's such a loved title, and the community is really a crucial part of the franchise.
I constantly put myself in the shoes of gamers because I still game too.
Hi.
Feedback is valuable. It doesn't fall on deaf ears.
Xbox.
We listen to everything.
He's a real gamer. Oh shit.
Not only very talented, but also very passionate about the game. I think the right thing to do would be to hand it off to someone else and let them take the reins and just see what the potential is for the game in the future.
Sniper! Railgunner. Sniper!
Survivors of the Void introduced not just like new maps and new survivors, but like new mechanics, new enemy types, new lore.
Players expect fun survivors, cool bosses, discovering unknown places, and probably the music. Chris Tadulu is really good. I love every single thing that he's done from the beginning up until this point where we're at with Survivors of the Void.
I want to introduce new elements to the music, but don't lose the core thing that makes Risk of Rain music. When we did Survivors of the Void, I had this concept that the music will be much darker, so I tried to go into that direction.
We're thinking a lot about what the game is missing with Survivors, like what's the different playstyle that we haven't explored, or what's been craving by the community, and how can we satisfy them.
I think
more one-shots.
Probably the release date of the Void DLC.
Okay, so we got.
So that was definitely a journey for me. A very fun and memorable experience for sure.
There is an element of familiarity, but there's also a lot of wonder. There's a lot to
Blind
discover.
pests.
I think Risk of Rain is made for consoles. It feels great.
This is music that has like
I can blow through a run or two
clicks in
the
it.
amount of time that me, a dad, usually has to play games.
It's important to support all of the platforms because we have users out there already on those things, such as Switch and.
Okay, this is the console discussion.
The thing that I'm most proud of, I think, is that we were able to unify those code bases and be able to deliver future
Got that.
in a way that ultimately gives them a better game.
While the programming team has been focusing on the porting effort for Survivors on consoles, the development team has been working on DLC 2, or Seekers of the Storm.
For the peek at the planet after its guardian was gone.
Seekers of the Storm is an entirely new expansion pack that will be similar in size to Survivors of the Void, which is to say there's going to be a lot of content. It's going to have new survivors, a bunch of new maps, it's also going to have items.
We want to prove to the fans that we know what Risk of Rain is. We want to improve player
True.
experience when they play the game.
Because that's what we're worried about.
Storm content. It's really amazing seeing a lot of the stuff that they've been working on.
We don't know until it's out.
This is where you make
Dead ends, right? Where I get lost every time. Okay. I like you. I like you very much for that. Yeah. Risk of Rain Nostalgia World is a isometric take on the Risk of Rain franchise. Anybody that's a fan of the franchise will find pieces of what they like from Risk of Rain in our mobile game. You play missions with your squad that you.
Oh, is it going to be procedurally generated?
Within the mission and bring as much destruction as you can. It's a new space station, right?
That's the prototype for the temple.
Everything is going to be deployed. The bus will come from the ground. Like it's like capture into a crystal, but when it's fully activated, it's going to be unleashed, and you have to fight the bus and all the monsters. Awesome. It's a game made for mobile, but still, we really wanted to make a game that is skill-based, that is satisfying, just like the previous titles. Everything is made so that the action is intense without overwhelming the player.
This is the first time that Risk of Rain is venturing into mobile, and so I'm expecting some pretty Christmas-like pew-pew action.
Risk of Rain Nostalgia World is the best of Risk of Rain, with hunter swapping, fast-paced action, hero collecting, and everything that needs to be there to make a great game.
Risk of Rain 1 was made 10 years ago now, and I think that we loved the design of that game, we loved a lot of aspects of that game, but we felt like it was showing its age, and we wanted to kind of take that same game.
Okay, now we're here again.
And so it only makes sense to have them spearheading the project.
We noticed there was a lot of great people in the modding community who were continuing to support the game that we weren't.
I think it made natural sense because they just had a much better understanding of the game at this point.
It's kind of like this.
Okay, so we saw that as well.
A lot of people out in the world that have just so much creative energy for Risk of Rain stuff that it doesn't make sense for
almost done.
They understand the universe, they understand what makes it so great. You could have played 100 hours in Risk of Rain 1 and like
okay, we saw that.
The present day of Risk of Rain is a lot of expansion.
It's a very rich world that still has a lot of room, even just on this one planet, to do stuff.
The future is very bright for Risk of Rain. There's definitely a want from the community.
Oh yeah.
We want the game to be fun for many, many, many years to come.
I think there's a lot of potential. There's so many things that we haven't explored with the franchise. There's so many different environments that we wanted to do.
When I think about the future of Risk of Rain, one of the things that makes me the most excited is really just like getting the stuff out there. We have a very loyal and very active fan base, and I want to make sure that we're doing right by them. And I'm pretty excited because I think that we're going to.
We're lucky enough to have so many engineers that are also power players of this game, so they give really good feedback on what the community is really looking for in their experience and how to move forward while keeping the core of the franchise intact.
Thank you to Hopu Games for making such a fantastic IP. Lots of good memories had within it. And good luck to Gearbox, who now has the reins over the IP. We are excited as a community to see what you guys are cooking up next.
True.
Risk of Rain world's pretty expandable. That's kind of what makes it fun to work on. So we don't have any ideas, but can't wait to see where it goes.
Good luck.
All right. Not too much new information, but it is nice to kind of just like see behind the scenes even a little bit. See what's up. There's this one last thing that's here. All right. Your guess is as good as mine what that was. It looks like this is just the trailer that they've been showing us, but in full. No, it's supposed to be a dev diary.
This is the False Sun, and the False Sun is a construct of.
Okay, so this is something else that was in the thing that we already saw.
Aurelia Knight, with her captors gone, is now reaching beyond her cage. She's trying to get out, and she has no jailers anymore to keep her inside. So we're seeing her exploring new abilities in this DLC. And then right before False Sun is truly born, Mithrix comes in with his Beads of Fealty holders, and they corrupt him.
To me, he's a very sad boy. He got betrayed. We had a lot of fun making him, and he's very crucial to the lore. I'm really excited about when players find out who he is actually in the game.
We come in as fans of the franchise that are trying to make good on a thing. We always fall back on the idea of like, is this interesting and is this fun?
I want them to feel like everything around them is supporting the storytelling. I want them to stop and look at the environment and be like, wow, this is pretty. I know the combat is the very settings and location that we chose for this DLC is actually very heavily based on lore. Sometimes we would like to pick an enemy and we want to build a environment around it. The special enemy there is consistent for our new DLC.
It came out, there were 10 deadlogs that never...
Okay.
For the person
it looks like we got pretty much all of this.
Person who wants more survivors, cool, we got you covered. Items too, you name it.
The design intent for the Day and Night version for Verdant Fall is that we want the player to be able to experience the different take on a familiar stage that they're already been through. So the Day and Night version of Verdant Fall actually started as a personal project of one of our team members, and she had this brilliant idea of, you know, what if we make a stage different and we make a variant of it and then we add some more flavor as well. And that's why she came to me with the night version of Verdant Falls. And after we look at it, I was like, yeah, this is really cool. We should do more. There are props that's very specific to the night version and makes more sense. And the skybox is totally different. And we added new areas for the night version that player are not always get to access to.
I've been really excited to work with the team and help plan the next 5 or 10 years for this franchise. There's a lot of directions that we could go in it. Pretty much every direction is interesting. There's High Court, there's Heretics, there's the two brothers. Where do they come from? Are there more of them? What is the space sickness that keeps them locked and isolated on this planet? Does that apply to all Cyclopses? There's a ton of mysteries to be dug out in this world, and I look forward to pulling every thread I can find.
Yeah, that's about it. Okay, so there's nothing new there. And there's this. Yeah. Alright, that seems to be it. That seems to be it. No dates. They're not going to put any pressure on themselves, which I'm fine with. But I do really just want to see what there is. That is dead. That has died. Okay. I think that's going to be it for me, because I do have to get ready for bed tomorrow. Is there anything I'm forgetting? I don't think so. No, that should be good. That should be it. Freshman's on. That never happens. I think I finished my dailies. I think my dailies are done. Nope, I need to block a goal, but I don't care enough about that because this battle pass sucks anyway. Even without even caring ever, I've still almost achieved the battle pass, and there's still 20 days left. So that should be done then. Alright. That was everything about Risk of Rain that is out so far, and there was just a random patch for some reason. That's fine with me. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Also, this is also something funny that I just wanted to mention. Is the fact that, no joke, I just finished this chapter in One Piece. No joke, I just finished reading this chapter. The One Piece! The One Piece is real! The One Piece is real! I, no joke, just got to this chapter. No joke. Isn't that crazy? I mean, like, I guess it was like maybe 10 minutes or so before I started stream, but like, that's wild. That's wild that I just got there. Oh, also, was there... that doesn't matter. Was this... Wooly has a video about everything new coming to the show. And that's it. I don't think it is gonna have any new info, though.
Played 23 minutes already? Yeah, I played 23 minutes. Look at this. Look at this, okay? This is me, right? Me. The guy she told you not to worry about. What is this? What is this? It was 35 yesterday. Race, this man played 8 more hours, bro. This is me. 23 minutes. 42 points. He's already beat the game 10 million times. I won. Oh! What?
Okay. So, yeah, this is just the celebration stream that we watched. Nothing new here. Console Survivor of the Voids DLC is out, so they can release all of the DLCs at the same time in the future. Mobile game, and then the new DLC, and then the whole IP as a whole. Does he have any like ending thoughts that are important?
Very nice, very nice. Dude, the trailer team, plural, I don't know the quote. Good job. Good job. So obviously I'm most excited for Risk of Rain 2 DLC upcoming. We don't have a release date, no new info on that. Just it's coming. It's called Seekers of the Void. It's going, or Seekers of the Storm. Seekers of the Storm.
There you go.
Seekers of the Storm. Do I have text on my screen? Oh no. Sorry. Cool, dude. They haven't really stated what's gonna happen after DLC. They hinted to more DLC. Obviously, they're talking about the universe, what direction they could go.
They hinted about more DLC and also future games. Is theoretically what a 5 to 10 year period would generally mean. A 5 to 10 year period is generally you are going to make 1 to 2 more games. Usually. I can't imagine Risk of Rain 2 getting more than like one more DLC. Like anything more than like one more DLC would surprise me when they could make like just a new game. That would almost assuredly be infinitely more lucrative, but it is a much smarter business idea to just put out one more DLC at least. To be like, yes, we can make Risk of Rain 2. We can make it good. We can make it better. Yada yada. Right? You just like have trust in us to make more game. Because they really need that right now. Because company takeover is always is it about to be bad? Because that happens with a lot of AAA's. Is one company will buy another and then put out an absolute stinker of a game. So that's at the moment. That's the point we're at now. It's just like, is it gonna be bad? Don't make it bad. We don't want it to be bad.
Under the guise of being DLC centric, but perhaps we could see it move into a bigger project as well. You never know. Like scope creep and all that stuff. Who knows? Solid, dude.
The fact that they made a mobile game just out of nowhere is a very heavy hint that they do plan to just make entirely new things. One would assume. We'll see.
Solid. Boys, we have a game to get to. I don't think there's gonna be anything else. Should we wait for a post-credit scene? I don't think there's gonna be.
There wasn't. I also sped through it. Nothing. Nothing really new there. So, exciting. Happy to see it. Hopefully it works out. I still need to get Risk of Rain Returns, but there's other stuff I have to do first, so that's not gonna happen anytime soon. Unless, really, just generally just not gonna happen. At least for like another 3 days. Tomorrow's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, yeah. And then Friday I'm busy, so generally at least like for another 3-4 days. Probably not gonna happen. And I didn't really have anything else to do. So yeah. Follow your dreams, everybody. The One Piece is real. Good night.